You should have thought about that before you asked me to marry you.
Why can't you understand it was a mistake? I would never marry you.
Stealing dances, keep cutting in like
a minute until midnight. I'm just wondering where you at. Just thought I'd call and wish you good night. I left my key under the mat. I don't get anything done, you're stuck on my mind. I keep on missing your touch, missing your vibe. This feeling might go when I say what we had.
Hip hip, hooray! Hip hip, hooray! Hip hip, oh boy!
And 3 cheers for the fry cook who took my place while I was gone. Squidward! Hip hip! Boo! Hip hip! Boo! Hip hip! Boo! Hip hip!
Boo! You stink!
You know that I'ma keep it cool. With you I feel like breaking rules. On the edge, looking out with no parachute. You know I'm dreaming about us two, playing around without a clue. On the edge, leaning out. With us it's all or nothing.
Lights flash in the dark. I know you're coming back, aiming at my heart. And these things never come from me easily, no. But now I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready, ready. Emotions repeating, though it's been so long. I know what you're thinking, I know. I wanna spend all our time now, for better or worse. I know the past is gone, and now you're all I want. 'Cause I would give it all up, give it all up, give it all up for you. I would give it all up, give it all up, give it all up. I would give it all up, give it all up, give it all up for you. I would give it all up, give it all up, give it all up. I would. You know that I would.
I left things unsaid, and you cannot forget how my mistakes haunt us, but do they really daunt us? Your tongue can be sharp, cut me close to the heart.
Occasionally I need to breathe. Stop me for a second, I got needs. Occasionally I set them free. Don't hold me back now, I'm in the lead. This part, so cold life. This part, so cold life. What a time to be alive. Lately I've been dancing on my own so bravely. Steady steps on the ground. Hate me, but I ain't never coming down. Never coming down.
A repeat pattern is not rocket science, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Fill your paper with your design, then cut it into 4s and arrange it so that the outsides are on the insides. After that, you're going to have a ton of white space and you're going to need to fill that with more elements. Make sure you cover most of the white space, keeping it all kind of equidistant and definitely right over the edges so that the patterns match up when everything gets repeated. Once you're done, you'll have a seamless repeat pattern. I usually do this digitally, but it's so fun to see in person.
I made these, and obviously I love these, and I want other people to love these, but they have to see these to love these. So if you could leave me a comment, that would really help me get these out there. Thanks!
Black in sunlight is actually lighter than white in shadow. So with these two chess pieces, my light is hitting the left side of this black piece. So it's actually going to be a lot lighter than the shadow part of my white chess piece. That's going to be darker. So it's kind of confusing because we think white could never be darker than black, but it can depending on if it's in sunlight or shadow.
Yeah, he sets my body in motion. He knows how to turn things up. And he knows what gets me going. Yeah, like a little text saying, hey, what's up? Look at me, I'm in a bad situation. Look at him, he's got a bad reputation. They be looking at us, thinking we are too much. Look at me, I'm in a bad situation. Look at him, he's got a bad reputation. They be looking at.
One of my favorite things about TikTok is that we love to support small artists. So if you are a small artist, use this sound and show off your art. And anyone who's scrolling through their For You page and you find this beautiful art and you love it, if you want to support this artist, one of the best things you can do is click share and then copy link, and it'll really help them in the algorithm. Do it, do it, do it!
Do you think you will ever be queen?
No, I don't. No.
Why do you think that?
I'd like to be a queen of people's hearts, in people's hearts. But I don't see myself being queen of this country.
So many people have asked for fall scenes or more practice with trees, so here is the perfect painting. I'm gonna take light blue and white across the top and even some darker teal across the horizon. This just makes it look a little bit more like a fade. And then I'm taking some tan on my brush, not even washing it, and doing the bottom. Now you have to trust the process with this painting. I'm taking my sea sponge and some red, and I'm bouncing it in a couple places in the sky. All right, these are going to be leaves. And you know how leaves in the fall, when they change, they have different clumps of color. So I'm going to kind of have like clumps of orange, clumps of red. You kind of want to organize them a little bit. You don't want to have all the colors everywhere all at once, but so you have a little clump of yellow there and on the other side. And even in the fall, there are still some green leaves. So I take some light and dark green and put just a couple little touches in there. And then you want to make sure you dry it for this next step, because we're going to add the trees. So we're going to have a little bit of perspective. That center point is where we're heading. So the tree in the very front, closest to you, is going to be on the outside edge, and that's going to be The biggest one, it's going to be a little bit thicker and it's going to go all the way up. The next one, a little closer to that center point, is just a little bit thinner. And you see, as we're getting closer to that blue section, notice I left a little bit of it clean without leaves. That one's gonna go up a little bit further, and the one furthest towards the center is the tiniest, so you can already see that tunnel effect. So on the other side opposite, big tree on the far right, and getting smaller lines as we get towards the center. Now you don't want to forget any branches either, so make sure they have those V's. And they are close together, so you don't want to do too much detail. They can be hugging each other, touching each other a little bit, but do a couple reaching up into those leaves because that's what's holding them on. You don't want just floating leaves. And now, see, we can see that now we're gonna have some tan. Our trees look a little flat, so I'm going to add a little bit of highlights just to the bases and maybe towards the bottoms of the branches there. If it gets too bright, you can blend it in with some more dark brown, but that makes it look a little bit three-dimensional. And then, so it doesn't look like you just glued some trees over top of your leaves, make sure it looks like they're inside the leaves. I'm going to take my sponge again and bounce in a couple leaves over top of them. You don't want to lose your trees, but you just want to have a little bit. I do a couple pops of yellow at the very end because that just makes it look like it's highlighted. There we go. Now they look like they're inside the forest. Now with a clean sponge, I'm going to take some dark brown because these are the dead leaves at the bottom of the trees. This is a great way to fix up the bottoms because they always look a little funny, so we're kind of planting them at the same time. Go along the edge of each side of your walkway. I'm also going to take a little bit of nutmeg and bounce in the same thing. There we go. And a lot of people sometimes get stuff in the walkway that they didn't really want there. So I'm going to take some tan and some white and a smaller round brush, and I'm just going to go back and forth and clean it up. If a little bit of the brown that hasn't dried gets in there too, that kind of looks like shading as well. So this gives you a chance to fix up anything you don't like and get some really good perspective in there. Super easy fall painting. This is a great one to practice trees. And there, I'm taking the tape off. It's always the most fun part. There you go.
On my way home, stumbling on the pavement, yeah. No sleep in my body, last night got me wasted, yeah.
Here's a birthday card idea for someone you love. Paint a huge heart. Inside the heart, write, "Someone I love was born today." This can be a little bit tricky because of spacing. As you can see, I had to space out love, and then today was kind of shrunken in because of, well, you know, the shape of the heart. Going in with my marker, outlining the letters, adding some loose doodles and squiggles and little accent pieces, and I am done. Voila!